Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So here I have another Far East legendary hero, Xojin. He is now available in the altar, and I wanted to talk about his skills and also help you see what his loadout is like and also what he is like when he's up against enemies. He has a very different mechanic, so I want to explain him to you and then show you how strong he is and then help you decide if you want to get him or not. So let's get into it. Let's start by taking a look at his special ability. So you can see that he'll deal damage to an enemy, but it's based on the target's speed, and it's going to do this 3 times. So no matter what, whenever you activate the skill, you're going to hit the enemy 3 times, and the damage is going to be based completely on the target's speed. And you have a chance to inflict burn as well, and that's going to last 3 turns. When you get to level 7, the damage output is going to be increased, and you're going to get 100% to inflict the burn, and that's going to last for 4 turns. The key thing to note here is because this is completely based on the target's speed, it doesn't matter whether you have high health or high defense or high attack, none of that is going to matter in terms of the damage output. The only thing that will be able to change how much damage you actually deal is going to be your critical damage. That's going to be important as we talk about his loadout. Then we take a look at his passive ability. This is where it gets really crazy. So you can see here at the beginning of his turn, he will also gain increased accuracy for 3 turns. So that just helps him land his burn status. But then if you take a look here, if he has less speed than the target, he will automatically recast his special ability 3 times. Remember, every time he casts a special ability, he's going to hit 3 times. This is going to cast it 3 additional times no matter what, as long as his speed is slower than the enemies. And that means he's going to cast it a total of 4 times, including the passive. 3 times each, 4 times for 12 hits total. And then if he has, then here there's additional bonus here. For every 20 speed that he's slower than the opponent, he gains an additional recast for 4 additional times total. So that means he can actually cast his special ability a total of 8 times. And it'll attack 3 times each. So a total of 24 attacks against the enemy. So technically, a chance of up to 12 stacks of burn. You can only do 10 total, but he could completely fill up the stack with burns with a single activation. It is pretty crazy. He also has a mana gain increased by 1 when you max his level, and that's going to matter because he starts with a 24 base mana gain. So he's going to be able to fill up his skills really fast, and you'll be able to activate this really quickly. Now let's talk about loadouts. Hope Set is probably going to be the best for Xojin because of the possibility you can activate his skill again. Imagine you can already activate up to 8 times, and with Hope Set you could multiply that by 2, so 16, or even potentially 24 times against a hero. It can get pretty ridiculous. And so if you have the Hope Set, I would definitely recommend trying it out. If not, it's okay. His primary stats to focus on is relatively simple, and I think that you just focus on critical damage for a glove, accuracy for his armor, and then health for his boots. That is pretty much all you need to focus on. And then if you don't have Hope Set, what you then focus on is probably the Cursed Set, so that you could also get more accuracy. Accuracy, after all, is going to be the way to go for him, so that you can inflict more of the burn damage. So if you can't use Hope, use Cursed, and that is how I would recommend you load him out. He already has, as I said, 24 mana gain, so with a passive ability to 25, you don't need to have Caster Set, so you don't need to worry about that either. Overall, you do need to make sure you have critical rate at 85 or higher, and try to increase his critical damage so that you can do damage and also do negative stats. So that is it for his equipments. I will talk also a little bit about his weakness. So I talked about how he's really strong against fast enemies. So what happens against a slow enemy? Here we have against Orion, which is just one of the wave bosses, wave enemies at 214 speed. If you take a look at his ability, you can see that he's only able to attack the 3 times, and not for very much damage. He can't even take out the enemy here with his special ability. Because he's slower, he's not really doing a lot of damage, and he only casts 1 burn on him. And this is against a yellow enemy. So you can see that when you're up against a slow enemy, you are going to be at a disadvantage. And so this is the weakness of Xojin. And now let's take a look at what happens when Xojin is able to deal damage against a fast hero. So let's go ahead and activate his skill. So now you can see he activates the 3 times, and he keeps attacking. That's number 3, number 4. Now his passive is going to kick in. Number 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total hits. And because his hope set kicked in, you can activate again. So he's going to deal damage again. And when the Phoenix dies and comes back to life, you're going to see what happens. He's going to continue his attack. So he doesn't just stop. He'll continue to do his onslaught of attacks. Okay. Now you'll notice that he only dealt damage 4 times there. I did actually report a bug here. He should have completed the 4 full attacks. And so there is, I think, a bug here. I'm glad I was able to capture it on video here. But usually when this doesn't happen, it doesn't happen all the time. But when it does, this is... you see it kind of stops. But what I'm able to do actually normally is I'm able to take out the yellow Phoenix boss here, which is level 18, with a single shot from him. It is pretty insane actually. I can actually one-shot the hero depending on whether the boss, depending on whether or not my hope set ability kicks in or not. So this is Xojin without any boost. So you saw the damage there. In the previous fight, you saw that I was able to use Xojin's ability without any boost. Here, I actually have Xojin with increased critical damage. And so he's actually going to deal a little bit more damage. And you can see what happens when I activate his skill. So you can see his total damage actually did go up. And again, we were able to activate his hope ability. So let's take a look and see the difference here. So he's going to go ahead and do his 8 total attacks. And that basically almost takes him out, right? Now we're going to go ahead and activate again. So he has just 1 attack, and he's going to deal at least 3 more attacks here. And so you can see 1, 2, 3. And then this is at the point where he stops. So you can see how much lower the health actually got. And this is with increased attack. Okay, so increased critical damage. And so this is why I said that adding more critical damage to your hero is going to make a difference, because he does deal more damage overall. So you can see that he was dealing a little over 2,000 each time, and that is basically 6,000 to 7,000 per activation, right? And if you consider he's doing this 8 times, that is close to 50,000 damage with a single activation against the enemy. That is pretty huge, okay? And so against the boss, I think he can do really well. And just the number of burn that he's going to be able to stack onto the boss, it is pretty incredible. And I'm going to show you quickly also in the arena what Xojin is like. Shout out to Lady Omega and also Omega. They have a YouTube channel that is also got really, really good content. Highly recommend that you check it out as well. I'll have the link to their channel in the description below also. So let's go in and take a look at what it's like with Xojin. Actually, it's not Xojin, it's Xojin, because the X is not pronounced with an S, it's more like an SH sound. And so I just wanted to make sure that people know how to pronounce this name. I don't actually know in terms of like the meaning what it means, but it is a, that's just the way I think you would pronounce it. Okay, so what I need to do here is I am going to probably go after Sigil here, because Sigil is the one that is the fastest among them. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So we're going to go ahead and do an attack. The hope set did not kick off. I think if the hope set actually did kick off, that would have helped me at least take her out, because it would mean that I would have full stacks of burn on Sigil. But we're going to go ahead and at least get ourselves... I probably should have activated... I think if I had activated Sigil and then activate Calum onto Xojin, that probably would have made a difference. We will go ahead now, see who do we go after. And I think that we can actually try this. So we're going to go ahead and activate against... we're going to go ahead and activate Elgath and see what happens here. And because you can see here, Elgath's speed is actually slower than, it looks like the speed is slower than my Xojin, and so I didn't actually get a chance to activate. So this is something good to note. Always have to pay attention to, you know, where, in this case, you need to sort of pay attention to who's the hero that is faster than you, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to deal more damage to. But I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and see. Now we're going to go up against a non-yellow hero, so you can see 675 each time. We're barely just getting past the. We're actually just barely getting past the shield, but finally we did manage to get through there. And this is not like going to be like a super easy fight, right? Like just because you're going up against enemies that are faster doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to take them out with a shot. But the difference here is it's the burn damage that you are stacking onto them. Right? It's the burn damage that you're going to be stacking, and that is the predominantly sort of what you're going after. This is really the key here. And what we can do is we can now also load up some burn onto Aurora. Okay, so essentially what happens is after Aurora and Streetblock are taken out, then they will not get the buffs anymore, so I'll be able to put more burn on them. And what I do want to make sure that I don't do is give them too many yellow gems to work with here. So Streetblock is out at this point, and then we're going to see basically, you know, you basically just kind of keep going with this, and it's not a fast fight, but it is we're going to get the job done here. So we're going to go ahead and keep attacking. And let's see, I wanted to see if he's going to continue attacking even though there is no more space for burn. And it looks like that is still the case, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and keep going here. And that's the end of the fight there. And so that is Xojin in a nutshell. Hopefully this helps you understand how he works, and you can see his weakness as well as his strength, where he's going to really excel at and where he is also going to be weak at. So I would say that he is a really good hero to play with. It may feel like he's super strong in some regards, but in some cases he will be pretty weak, and so there is a balance here. I personally really enjoyed using him, and I think that you will too. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye now.